Well, let's see how this goes. Welcome to the Breaking Point podcast. I'm filming a pilot. This is episode 1, take 1. And I am here at home working in the garage. And I gotta do a little bit of side work here and there, just kind of supplement stuff, because, to be honest, if I don't, I go nuts, right? And it helps with car money, race car money, and tools. And what I'm doing here is I've got this Suburban back here that I'm swapping transmissions in. Good old 4060E, right? So I'm going to set this up, and I got to get the rear end jacked up and see if I can get my lighting figured out, and go from there. It's gonna be my first time lapse, so we'll see how this goes. I think I actually like this angle much better. I tried that first angle. I like underneath the car. I tried sitting up on top of the Chevette just for a bit bigger picture, and it doesn't seem like it. The edge of the car gets in the way and kind of distracts it. And I think it takes the focus off because I'm using an iPhone to film. So my first angle is going to be staring into the garage as I get my lights and jacks and everything set up. So here we go. Here we go. You said 17 what, Roy? 17, yeah. Yeah, well, oh, that Roy. Yeah, one sec, dude. Well, that was interesting. Well, for the first time in my life, I had to help a drunk person home. That was pretty wild. Funny dude. Anyway, just want to make sure you got home safe. Been there before, so. So while we're talking, I guess I could give you a quick update on the eclipse. So this is currently where it sits. Getting ripped apart again. Bent some valves. It cracked the oil pump housing, and timing belt tensioner. It's hydraulic. It takes, engine oil pressure, right? And it slipped the timing belt. So it's coming apart again for the third time in 1,000 miles. Because DSM, right? So anyway, that's where we'll end this first video at with that kind of stuff. So while we're here, let's talk about how this podcast is going to be structured. So I'm starting out first with the eclipse. I was going to go more in depth with everything and talk a little more, but had this weird little interruption tonight. It's kind of funny. So why do we do what we do as car people? Can we help it? Is it like any other kind of addiction or drug? Why do we continuously go through with this almost masochistic obsession with these cars? Now, I've always had a soft spot for DSMs. I've had a whole bunch. This one's probably been my favorite one so far, but man, I have never had so many problems. Bought it as a basket case, and it's continued to stay a basket case no matter how hard I've tried or the money I've thrown at it. And man, it's just I don't know how to explain it, because when it runs and I can drive it, it's almost like it's almost like watching your kid take its first steps. First time they yell your name and come run up and give you a hug when you get home from work and yelling dad, dad, dad. And but man, sometimes it just does dumb stuff, you can't help but get mad at it, and eventually you get over and just shake your head and pick it back up and say, here we go, and you dust it off. And so now now it's getting fixed for the third time in 1,000 miles. I've owned it for 2 years now. Just had the Facebook memories pop up. And I don't know if it's going to be done this year or not. I'm trying to get the engine tranny out of it, and they're going to sit in the back of the garage over here so that I can get my S10 pulled down here from the storage unit. And that's been an even longer process than this car has. Little V8 swapped. I've got a turbo 400 for it right now. Everything's ready to go in it. I didn't have almost all the nickel and dime, but I'm basically a drive shaft away from getting it running and driving. I've got enough parts and stuff to put 2 or 3 trucks together, probably. I've been collecting parts and vehicles for over a decade now, and this S10 is much more important to me. And so I've got a goal to have it running and driving by my birthday, the end of August. Even if that's just backing it out of the driveway and doing a big old nasty burnout in the street, then so be it. But why do we do what we do as car people? I think that's going to be a similar answer, but different enough answers for everybody. I don't know. Maybe some of us weren't told that someone was proud of us, and so this is the only thing that we can do to occupy our minds. Maybe it's ADHD or the OCD, I don't know. But there's just something about building something with your own hands and getting to drive it and beat on it, and it just makes it all worth it, all the busted knuckles and all the sweat and late nights and empty pockets and the ramen noodles and mac and cheese and hot dogs every night. Not that we live like that, but we've all been there. I've been there. That's how I started everything out. So what's your why? Why do you do this? Do you not build your own stuff? Do you just buy stuff? That's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. See, because what I've done in the past is I buy something and get it 80% of the way, lose interest, lose faith in myself, run out of money, and the car is going to go down the road. And it's happened more than once where I sell it, and there was even one time where it was a couple hours later, the guy was like, "Yep, I got it running, I'm driving it now." And I was like, dang it. But it doesn't matter if you are building it yourself or someone else builds it for you, or you buy it done, or you buy just something stock. Doesn't matter. What does matter is you pursue your passion. You do what you enjoy, and you don't let anybody else get in the way of that. And I think that's why, as a whole, the car community can come together and seemingly in the last handful of years be even stronger than ever. Because we always make jokes, and you can see all the stuff all over social media about the boomers and everything, but I'm not tied down to just 4 cylinders. It's not really an import. It's made by Chrysler. Still a Mitsubishi piece of crap, but it's my piece of crap. I've got this Chevette over here, and I've got that old C10 out there, and S10. I'm primarily a GMVA guy, but I'm into everything. I'm into all kinds of stuff. If it's something that lights a fire under your ass and you're proud of it and you want to show it off, whether you did the work or not, it doesn't matter. If it's your passion, share it. Because I love them all. There's not really anything that I don't dislike. There's some things that aren't my style, but I can appreciate the work and the effort and the time and the money that goes into this stuff, because I've got 11 vehicles, and none of them are cool, but I like them. They're mine, and I work on all my own stuff. So it's something that we need to keep promoting and keep pushing and keep getting all the younger kids into it, because it's what keeps us going forward, right? And I can remember 2 years ago when I first got this car, first got it running and everything, I took it up to Sage Raceway, and as we're getting off the highway rolling up to get to the BFE path to get out there, there were these kids by the McDonald's right at the stoplight right there, and just yelling, "Rev it, rev it, rev it, rev it." And so, just got on the brake and the gas a little bit and got into some boost and let the blow-off valve chirp off, and it's got this doo-doo-doo. I don't even know what you call it. It's purple. It's not on there right now. Anyway, it's like the HKS blow-off valve, but it's some cheapy. It works. And anyway, just seeing those kids jump around and cheer and laugh and see the big faces on there, it takes me back to when I was a kid, going to the drag races and just being mesmerized by, really started with the sounds. There's nothing quite like hearing the big, multiple 1,000 horsepower funny cars light off. But I don't know, starts with the sounds, goes with the smells, and then you can get into your own car, and it's game over at that point. We think you're hooked and addicted as a kid, but as soon as you get your hands on it, like I said, it's like your baby. You can't help it. It eventually becomes a part of you, part of who you are. It's almost like our personality, and we build our whole lives around it. I'm going to forever live in a junkyard of these old crappy shitbox beaters. And I can't think of a better way to do it, because I'm going to have a yard full of $500 junk cars, and maybe one or two of them's going to run. But man, those one or two that I can drive will make it all worth it. You know, and the big thing, what I started out doing is, man, I wanted to do it right. First time. Build it right the first time. Spend all the money, buy all the best parts, buy whatever you can. And I can tell you right now that you don't got to get it right. Get it where you can drive it. Get it where you can enjoy it. All of the other stuff will come along. Because if you can hop in it and drive down to the gas station, go buy a drink and go buy snacks, take your kids and your friends and your family for a ride, all the other little stuff will come and go. Because I can tell you what, it's a heck of a lot easier to start sanding or doing all the small cosmetic stuff when you can drive it in and out of the driveway or the garage on its own. Eventually you're not going to have anyone that wants to help push your junk in there. In my case, you can only work in the gravel for so long before, bad weather happens. So, let's build something together. Hang out and see what happens with my projects. And next week, we're going to do a toolbox tour at my work. And I've got a handful of new tools that I just got that I've never tried before, and I'm super excited. So I'll give you a quick little review on the handful of tools, but I'll start that as a whole totally new segment. And I don't know about the week after. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to start doing some racing reviews. So this coming weekend is the Memorial Day race at Rigby Middle School for the SCCA Autocross. I'm not sure if I'm going to race yet. I'd like to take the Chevette, but I've got to get some work done on that. I just got it running and driving, but it's got some issues. So we'll see if I can get that done in time. And yeah. Let's hang out. Let's build something together.